It goes without saying that, in its current state, the function of society across the globe relies undeniably on the almighty dollar. Whether it's used to purchase a dwelling place, a form of transportation, or a tiny little trinket, money in its various forms acts as a liaison between humanity and the material world. For the next few minutes, you'll be observing the material stature of 5 different families in the countries they reside in, and hopefully you'll gain some insight about these specific parts of the world and their relation to your own situation. Now, as a side note, I'd like to say that I am well aware that this class in particular has viewed several example videos that presented the exact same countries we are about to present. So to make things a little more interesting, we're going to juxtapose the statistical data from the Material World Book, ergo 1994, with the most recent information for each of these countries. So, without further ado, we'll be on our way. Our first stop finds us with the Calabasas family in Guatemala. Now, Guatemala has undergone a few changes within the past few years, so we'll go over those quickly. For one, it seems its land area has decreased from 108,999 square kilometers to 108,889 square kilometers. Now, this could just be a discrepancy between sources, but it seems like a good thing to report. Its population has increased from 10.6 million people to 14.1 million people. Its population density has likewise increased from 97.3 persons per square kilometer to 219 persons. Its total fertility rate has decreased from 5.4 children per woman to 3.18, and its population doubling time has increased from 24.4 years to 51.3 years. Since 1994, Guatemala's urban population has increased from 42% to 49%. And the percentage of forest loss between 1981 and 1990, being 1.6%, has increased between 1990 and 2005 to 17%. Life expectancy has increased for males and females universally, and the leading cause of death still remains communicable diseases. And now on to the Calabasas family. While their house is only 216 square feet, it holds 5 people: Vicente, his wife Lucia, their son Mario, and their daughters Olivia and Maria. The father works 60 hours a week, whereas the mother says she works constantly. They bring in a per capita income of $944 a year, 66% of which is spent on food. They have 1 radio, no televisions, no automobiles, and no telephones. For the future, they would like to obtain a television, pots and pans, and a kitchen table, and they have never been more than 30 miles from their home. When it comes to their most valued possessions, the mother states it's a religious painting and Bible, the father his portable tape player, the daughters their dolls, and the son his soccer ball. Their wish for the future, as the father puts it, is to stay alive. And now we'll go to meet the Delfort family on the island of Haiti. Haiti consists of 10,811 square miles of largely rough mountainous terrain. It has a fertility rate of 2.98 children per woman, and a total population of 9.8 million, which is expected to double in 78.4 years. Its per capita food production is in a general decline, which is reflected in the drastic increase in the nation's urban population that occurred between 1994 and 2012. The life expectancies for males and females in Haiti has universally gone up, just like in Guatemala, and while Haiti's rank of death rate among American nations is still quite high, it has decreased since the release of Material World. As far as Haiti's literacy rate goes, the percent of literate males in Haiti has decreased since 1994, but the percent of literate females has increased. And now it's finally time to meet the Delfort family. There's the father, Dentes Delfort, his wife, Madame Dentes Delfort, who relinquished her first name after marriage, their eldest child, Jean, their daughters, Lucienne and Fifi, and their youngest child, Soifette. Together, the 6 of them live in a 325 square foot house with a 2-room main dwelling, detached kitchen, and storage shed. The father works 60 hours a week, the mother 55 hours, and each child works 30 hours. They have no radios, no telephones, no televisions, VCRs, or automobiles, and they spend 80% of their income on food. When asked about their most valued possessions, the father and mother said that they had nothing of value. Now we'll move far up into the northern hemisphere to the country of Iceland, where we'll meet the Thordarson family. Iceland is 39,770 square miles in size, with a population of 313,183 people, and only 8 people per square mile. Its fertility rate has decreased to 1.89 children per woman, and its population doubling time has slightly increased. Though its urban population has increased by only 1%, it still towers over the rural population, and the life expectancies for both males and females have increased universally. You'll find that the Thordarson family is more materially privileged than the last 2 families, with the 2,000 square foot house that holds all 6 of them. The father, a pilot, works 22 days out of each month during the winter and 18 during the summer. The mother, a hat maker, has a work schedule that varies. They have a per capita income of $23,324 and spend 22% of their income on food. They have 2 radios, 1 stereo, 2 TVs, 1 VCR, 1 computer, 2 automobiles, and 4 horses. The father values his private airplane most, the mother her cello, the eldest daughter her horse, the eldest son his knife, the youngest son an antique pistol, and the youngest daughter just isn't sure. Now we turn to the Yadav family in India. India is 3,287,263 square kilometers in size, with a population of 1.2 billion people and a population density of 382 people per square kilometer. Its fertility rate has decreased to 2.59 children per woman, and its population doubling time has increased to 72.99 years. Its urban-to-rural population ratio has not changed so much, with only a 3% increase in the urban population. Life expectancies have increased across the board. The Yadav family has a 344 square foot dwelling to hold the 6 of them. The father works 56 hours a week when he can find work, and the mother works 84 hours a week in the home. They have a per capita income of $330. They have no radios, telephones, televisions, VCRs, or automobiles, and they have 1 bicycle. The father's most valued possessions are his prints of Hindu gods, and the mother's are the sculptures of gods and goddesses of power and strength. Their wishes for the future are 1 or 2 new cows for milk. Our last stop finds us with the Saleh and Ali families in Iraq, a nation that has certainly changed a good deal since 1994. Currently, Iraq is 438,317 square kilometers in size, with a population of 31.1 million people and 71.02 people per square kilometer, much larger than in 1994. Its fertility rate is 3.85 children per woman, and has a population doubling time of 29.9 years. Its rural population has increased to 34% since 1994, and male and female life expectancies have increased overall. Its rank of CO2 emissions has decreased from the number 1 spot since 1994 to number 72, and is now ranked 21 in terms of military size. The Saleh and Ali family is number 12 in all, and have a 2,150 square foot dwelling for the first household, and a 1,610 square foot dwelling for the second household. 4 members of the families work 42 hours a week. Abed Ali of the second household works as a civilian employee of the army. His wife, Aliyah Ali, works as an elementary school teacher. Aliyah's sister works in an airport gift shop, and the Ali's first daughter works in that same gift shop alongside her. They have 1 radio, 1 telephone, 1 television, 1 VCR, and 1 automobile. The grandparents' most valued possession is their family. For Abed Ali, it's his family, country, and television, and for Aliyah Ali, it's her children. Their wish for the future was to see an end to the embargo on Iraq, and it seems like they got their wish, as the UN Security Council voted to lift many of the sanctions on Iraq during 2010. It also seems worthy to note that this family was unlike any other in material world, as they were hand-selected by government representatives, and the journalists were accompanied by a guide at all times. All photographs had to be approved in advance before they were taken. Then again, I guess this isn't so surprising for 1994 Iraq. Well, I guess that concludes our look into the lives of 5 families from Guatemala, Haiti, Iceland, India, and Iraq. Now, I don't want to get all cheesy on you with some feel-good closing statement or something, but you have to admit, actively delving into the lives of families from several different countries in rapid succession like this really brings our own situations to light, more so than the common knowledge of how lucky we are as Americans. So I hope you all agree with me when I say that this project in general has reinforced perspective in a whole new way, both on ourselves and on the rest of the material world.